Welcome back to another Wheel Wednesday, where I spin this wheel and then do a prompt. Today, it was TheAbyssGarden, whose prompt was the first snake, as opposed to the last snake, which the wheel chose as a prompt 2 Wednesdays ago, I believe. So, hey, the wheel says what it wants. I don't know. The wheel does what it does. So, for this, I decided to go with a more mythical-esque way of doing the first snake, where instead of being like, an actual animal, it is made of lava, being like birthed from the earth. Why? Because I don't know. I just thought it would be more interesting that some sort of being is formed from like primordial essence rather than an animal. Yeah. And I end up doing, honestly, a lot of stuff different than I normally would. Mostly just to get the texture of the rocks. Because if you look up some volcanic rocks, they're pretty interesting. Especially because the new stuff is way darker than the old stuff. And then, like, it's paths of lava and layered rock. So, it's interesting. Trust me. Don't look it up now. You can look at me try to draw it. And it takes a bit to get there, but I think it ends up looking pretty okay. It really does take a while to get there, though. And I was going to go with like a snake egg breaking open, but I just kind of end up making it a rift in the rocks because it does not look that good with what I was going for originally. Especially because snake eggs are just kind of like balls, like just a white ping pong ball basically, or like a off yellow one, I guess. So I ended up kind of just making what was going to be the egg more rock, but I don't decide to do that until a bit, so it kind of looks wonky for a while. I also throw in reds and blues. It just felt like it ends up looking way better than I thought it would, honestly. Well, I mean, the blue was more intentional than the reds, but the reds, it's like dirt, and also there's going to be lava, which is going to be red hot, and the light off of it is going to be red. So, threw that in there. I also was using a reference. I think I just looked up active volcano, if I recall. And then one of the ones I saw was like near water, and lava was just dumping into the water and steam going everywhere. So that's a lot of what this is based on, including like the shape of the bottom rock area where it's like indented due to erosion from the ocean. Saying that's where that's from. That's also the reason why there is going to eventually be an actual ocean at the bottom of the image, even though right now it is just blue. So for the rock, I used the brushes that are like actual paint brushes, and then I used the default pencil brush thing in Krita that I am currently using to do even more rock texture, because I honestly like that one more than the paint brushes for like finer detail stuff. Which is, like, the paint was very good at getting a base down. Like, better than I thought it would be, honestly, even though, like, that's kinda, it's good for texture, paint and all that. From an actual brush, but not actual brush. What do you get what I'm saying? Hopefully. Fake actual paintbrush with paintbrush texture paint. Anyways, I'm now adding in like stones as if there was recently more lava that hardened into rock near the shore, this volcanic beach. And I eventually get to the snake. eventually, you know, only like halfway through right now. Still no snake, but like trust, it'll be there. Here I'm just making ocean look like ocean instead of blue. Or at least to some extent. I wasn't exactly sure. Like, I wanted there to be high-ish waves, but I wasn't sure like how crazy to make them. So they're kind of high compared to at the shoreline. Whatever. It's fine. Anyway, I'm actually putting in the lava, which I did pretty much similar to how I've done it in the past, which is long ago. I mean, I guess I did a little bit of it for last Wheel Wednesday, but again, I'll explain it. I'm using it's a round, it's a round hard brush that has opacity based on pressure of my stylus. And then I just went in with orange, and then I did the same exact orange with color dodge, went over it. And then this time, which is different than what I normally do, I used an airbrush on overlay to put like a deep red in the middle. And then I used multiply on that same hard round brush of like the rock color to get bits that are hardening while the lava is flowing. Because looking at the reference, you could see that like around the main flow of lava was the hotter, faster moving lava. So in the middle it was already turning into rock and cooling down, but around the edges was still bright red hot and flowing way more like liquid. So I tried to replicate that, including in the snake, which I finally got to, only like 6.5 minutes into this 10-minute time lapse. It's fine. It's not like it's the most important part of this whole piece or anything. And it's definitely not like the piece is named after it or anything like that. No, it's fine. And while doing this, I thought of making it so like the top of it was rocky and actually molten, and then as if it was shedding its own skin and then becoming more snake-like. It kinda did not end up like that. It's kinda just molten-y the whole way, but I mean it still looks fine, so it's fine. I mean, the head is more cooled off, and I tried to give it like these rocky scales that you can kind of see. There's only like 5 of them right now, but I add a couple more, and then there are like molten red hot scales too, because snake. Pretty soon here, once I'm done with the snake, I believe I add a color dodge layer over everything. I'm pretty sure. I'm still waiting to see. I thought it would be sooner, but nope, I'm just adding more scales of different colors for different levels of molten rockedness. I also added some red underneath the snake to, you know, because it's red hot. So it has a glow. Anyway, I finally added that color dodge layer that I was talking about, and I'm currently working on it. I'm pretty sure it is all, or almost all, yeah, basically all airbrush set to color dodge with that orange that I used as the base color of the lava. And now here I'm adding steam, because a volcanic beach where lava goes into the ocean makes a lot of steam. And it also looks cool. And this color I'm adding is just because there's the lava behind the steam, so some of the light will make it through that steam since it's not a solid object. Just some gas. It also gives more dimension to the steam rather than being that one solid color. You can also see in the color dodge layer I put some of the orange in the water because, you know, reflections. They do that sometimes. I just put a overlay blue over the ocean, and now I'm going through with color dodge of more of the lava colors and oceany colors because it was still looking pretty flat to me. Anyway, I think that's really it. I also at one point added in the color dodge layer like sparks with a watercolor sponge brush thing. And thanks for watching. Bye. Thanks for listening. Bye. Goodbye. Bye.